Ni wern narik dien, wadarang aktunuk. Makbari and wadarang bagaruk. Manamaith mirabea, Nilinga wadarang bake. Karingarapu, bunjo the ego. Wa the crow. Kimbani ba Deanne Gilson. Welcome to Wadarang Country.
Live from Wadarang Country, welcome to Lance TV. Coming to you from the palatial New Camp Street Studios in Ballarat, get ready to laugh, think, love and sparkle. And now, it's time to turn that camp dial all the way up to fabulous. Here's your host, the multi-award-winning Lance-tastic, Lance DePoyle.
Welcome, darlings. You're watching Let's TV. I am Lance DeBoyle and coming to you live from Wadarang Country, here in Ballarat, the resting place of Bunjali Eagle. Come on, sit down, get a drink. Maybe not necessarily in that order. Get a drink and then sit down. Oh, I tell you what, it's been a week, hasn't it? It's been a fortnight, actually. If you missed us last week, thank you so much for missing us. But what was broadcast across Channel 31 last week was the wonderful Victorian Pride Awards, courtesy of Globe Victoria. It was a wonderful cavalcade. It was a 4-hour special of all things LGBTIQA+, right across Victoria, both with our metropolitan friends and a lot of our urban and regional friends. I'm very proud to say that there were 3 wonderful nominations made last Friday, very good friends of mine. One was Tiny Pride with the lovely Angie Elson and the Al Winters. Yay, hooray for the nomination. They're quite a young organisation, they're only 2 years old, and to be nominated at this point in their broader kind of organisational career, kudos. We're very proud also of the one and only Michelle Shepherd for taking out the LGBTIQA+ Human Being of Victoria, Person of the Year. Well deserved. Michelle does so much in our community, not only in the regional, not only in the metropolitan areas, but across regional Victoria as well. She is quite a remarkable human being, and it was just wonderful to see her being recognised. And talking about recognition, I've got to say that our wonderful floor manager, the lovely Cheryl Vjlossi, won the LGBTIQA+ Volunteer of the Year. So to Cheryl, who's currently on the floor, holding a finger up at this camera, but not just any, like the index finger, just to let me know what camera we're on, and a little wave. We're going to have Cheryl on the show next week to talk all things award. That was not the finger I was hoping for. Talking all things Globe Awards, Pride Awards. We're very proud of the work that Cheryl has been doing here in Ballarat, keeping our community connected and informed and just loved, and she gives 125% every time. We were out at Chill Out the week before that, so a fortnight ago, as many of you probably watched, and Cheryl worked herself within an inch of her life in the hot sun, and it was like 38 degrees, and Cheryl just kept going. I paid her out afterwards because I reminded her she was only human, but yeah, Cheryl, thank you for everything that you do for our community here in Ballarat and for everyone here at Lance TV, and we look forward to hearing your story next week. But for now, this week we have a very special guest. This guest I have been chasing for at least 5 years to get them on the show. They are a very dear friend of mine personally. I've known them for about 40 years, and I must say, he hasn't aged at all, but his hair has. Please put your hands together for the one, the only, Peter Sparkman. Darling, how are you?
Oh, good.
Please, pull up a seat. Pull up a seat, darling. We've got a lovely glass there for you.
Oh, thank
Lovely.
you. I've got a lovely straw for the
Oh,
glass.
fantastic. What a shame we haven't got a mirror and a razor blade. No. Oh, not that sort of straw. Oh.
No, darling, no.
No. There you go. Fantastic. Sparkie, you are known around these parts as being quite the artiste. You currently have an exhibition out at Radius, which was installed as part of Chill Out, is that right?
Yes.
Talk to us a little, just give us a little insight into that exhibition.
Well, I've been taking photos of Chill Out Carnival Day for the last 15 years since I've been back from Darwin, except for 3 years where I was too hungover and couldn't lift my camera out of its case.
Was that 3 years constant, like you were just hungover for 3 years?
I think it was 3 years in a row, actually, because it's sort of 2014 like onwards.
Yeah, right. But we know you best as a visual artist as well, really, don't?
Yes.
Yeah, like photographer, visual artist. Did I see something somewhere really recently that you actually have a degree in font making or?
Font making?
Font, do you know? No?
Like in a church?
No, font as in text.
No, I can make fonts because it's part of what you do as a graphic designer, but no, it's not a degree in font making.
Ah.
It's an advanced diploma of graphic design.
There you go. That's probably what I did see something somewhere though, and it said something about typeface and fonts.
Ah.
Maybe it's a different Peter Sparkman.
Oh, it could be. There's another one that lives in Queensland that's much older than me. Don't even know if he's alive. Wow. But as far as I know, there's only 2 in Australia.
There you go. There you go. Bigger, better, bolder, and brighter. I'm loving your ensemble, going from your hair to your beautiful check shirt.
Oh, thank you. It's a little casual, except for this shirt that my partner brought me in Scotland. It's pure Scottish wool.
Is the Scottish a broadlight moonlight near tonight, lad?
Yes, that's right. And it's all the colours of autumn, and now it's autumn, isn't it? Yes.
To be short. No, that's a different place.
This is like my cubist snail that I drew in 2010, I think.
Sophie commented on that yet?
Part of an artwork. Hey?
Sophie has a thing for snails. Has she seen that yet?
I don't know. Have you seen it, Sophie? She has. Yes.
Sophie's seen it now. Care to see the vision switching? Thanks, Sophie.
Yeah. And the blue is because I went to the art gallery across the road last Saturday night for an art late function that had bands and stuff like that. And you can see some of the exhibitions.
Post-punk exhibition?
Yes.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. Photographic as well. So it was quite interesting to see another photographer in the art gallery of Ballarat.
Amazing. Well, we are talking about artists tonight, like you in particular, but we also have a small pre-recorded episode which I know that Emily Never has been beside herself with being on the show tonight. So without further ado, here is the Lance TV Artist Corner with Emily Never.
Oh, Emily. She's great.
Yeah, Sophie found her.
I'm Emily Never. I am a multidisciplinary queer artist. I do a lot of autobiographical zines and comics and draw a lot of inspiration from my workplace at Cryle Castle. So a lot of medieval themes, a lot of fantasy. So I originally came from Darwin in the Northern Territory. That's where I grew up and I did my arts degree, and moved down to Victoria about 10 years ago and started living and working here to pursue more of a sense of a community and also to have more opportunities in the art sort of scene, particularly zines. So I started when I was about 13 and my father very wisely put me on that path of zine making because as a young queer person I was sort of angry at the world and lacking direction, and found that connection in that community that helped offer me some guidance, and here I am still doing it some 20 years later. So yeah, I was always inspired by zine creators. I remember my dad taking me to Polyester, which is now no longer, and just being in awe of the zine section and the power that came with being able to tell your own story and just to produce it, photocopy it, staple it and sell it. I was just thunderstruck, and ever since then that's just been my calling.
Can we open that door yet?
I really like working with my hands and I like instant validation, so I do anything creatively that I can sort of have an instant output with. Pen and ink, like I said, is my favourite preferred medium, but I work with acrylics and gouache and a lot of clay. I've worked in almost every art store you could name, so I've had the fortune or misfortune of a lot of stuff, get discounts and having access to a lot of materials. I'm putting out there what I wished I had seen when I was a teenager.
That's right.
So
Give them a bit
I
longer
want
then.
there to be representation for me, and not just like sad, angsty stories that I felt I consumed a lot of, particularly with same-sex relationships. I wanted to write a narrative that spoke a little bit more to joy. So a lot of my work is centered around a fantasy in less tragedy, so really elevating same-sex relationships in a way that's not often represented, I feel. It's changing, but I'm doing what I wished my teenage self had.
We're both like huge fans of
The one that means the most to me personally is my latest comic anthology. During lockdown from 2020 to 2021,
Margaret Preston.
I did a new comic every single day for a year, so 365 comics about my experiences as a queer woman, where I was like venting my dating frustrations because I was single at the time, or just exploring like other themes that kept me sort of sane during that lockdown. So I have to say that's what I feel the most proud of.
The influence in her work.
So I've got the TBH Studio Zine Fair coming up on the 6th of April, Saturday 6th of April, so I'll be a part of that. It's the first zine fair I've been able to be involved in a couple of years since moving to Ballarat. And beyond that, I have an artist residency in France next year, so I'm frantically saving to that. So I've got a year to put a nice chunk of coin away. And I've also got the opportunity to exhibit in the Ballarat art space. So that's my next big project. Just do it. Like, there's space for everyone to be able to represent themselves. A lot of the times I get caught up in the idea that like the art community is a pie and some people get bigger slices and then there's none left for me, or that I have a really awful inner dialogue that talks myself out of sharing this stuff because I'm like, it's not good enough, it's self-indulgent, no one will like this. Just do it. It's such a crime to deny the world a piece of your art. If you are creative, just, share it.
And sent this wonderful imagery, there you go, one of those things. Top one.
Oh, good on you, Linda.
Hannah Lynch, first time watching Lance TV. So there you go. It's been a while. Okay, I've edited that, but we all know why. Dara Beatley, heart, heart, heart. Love, 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 love. We love the Dara.
Best picture framer in town, Lance.
Absolutely best picture framer in town.
Picture perfect.
Yes. When we came back from Darwin, we had some Works Aboriginal canvases, and hi, we're coming over, can you do this? And they were perfect, absolute perfect works. Linda Franklin, Sparkles. Marty Monster, you both look fabulous. Thank you, Marty. Emily Hearn, High Fives, Party, Things and Stars. Sean MacDonald, go Sparkie. Claire Blake, love, just a single red heart.
Darling Claire Blake.
Claire Blake with her ladder licence.
Ladder licence?
Claire Blake has a ladder licence.
Ladder?
No, ladder.
Oh.
Yeah, a ladder licence. Working at heights, commonly known as a ladder licence. Linda Franklin, the other Peter Sparkman, 1827 to 1975.
Oh, no. Well, there's one in Queensland that lived after that because he came down and visited us because he was doing the Sparkman book.
Oh. Is that door closed again, Cheryl? Sorry, is it? No, that's okay. Gwyn Blacker. Sparkman for mayor!
Well, of course you'd say that.
Oh, well, it's true. Jan Alexander. Clap, 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 Sparks.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And Marty Monster. Sparkie for Arts Ambassador for the region.
Or Marty does spoken word
Yes.
at
TBH.
TBH, and Jan is, what, is she a master ceramicist now? I don't know.
We're back on Channel 31. Welcome back. You're watching Let's TV. I'm Lance Boyle. And if you're waiting to see the wonderful interview, you've just made it in time. Fill up your drink. It's going to be a wow of an interview. Peter Sparkman.
Yes, Lance.
Lovingly known as Sparkie to many.
Many.
Where were you born?
In Eildon House at the Ballarat Base Hospital. And they just pulled that building down, the old brick one with the creepers on it, to build something else. Yes. So that was where I entered the universe and where I always call home. So when I was in Darwin, I always knew which direction Ballarat was. I don't know why I just said that, but that's what I used to do.
Really?
Yes.
Because you spent a bit of time, I remember, weren't you astral travelling for a period of time?
I certainly was.
Yeah,
yes.
and were you doing that from Darwin to where you were born?
Oh, yes, a bit. But Gwyn Blacker was in India, and we arranged to astral travel together and catch up in India, and I did that with her, and we weren't communicating then. It was before the internet and mobile phones. And when she came back, I asked her about it, and she went, yes, we were in that palatial sort of palm trees and grass with a white castle in the background, like catching up with each other. Yes.
Amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So born and raised in Ballarat, you were absolutely the youngest of 3 children in your family.
Yes.
There was Anne, who was 21 years your senior, and Deirdre, who was 15 years your senior, and then you.
And then me.
Big gap there.
Yes. Mum had me when she was 45, and back then in 1963, 1964, I was born in 64, a lot of her friends abandoned her because they thought I was going to be a Mongol child, which was the term that everybody used then. Now we would just say Down syndrome, I suppose. But I felt, as I grew up, I just felt really sorry for her that so many people just thought, oh no, I'm going to be deformed because she's 45. Like, that's not what happens nowadays, is it?
No. But, it was that crazy time. And there were a lot of thalidomide babies around then too.
I suppose, yes.
So I guess there was something in the community psyche. You have a memory of being creative when you were young. You told me a story just before the show about being out at Sovereign Hill and drawing a picture.
Oh yeah, so it was the first time the general populace and myself realised that I could draw. So Sovereign Hill was only freshly opened. It had only been opened a year or two. I don't know if it opened in 1973. I don't know. Anyway, we had to go there. There wasn't much of a township at that stage. and I could be wrong, but in my memory, there was only a slab hut and the pond.
In Ballarat? Oh, it's Sovereign Hill.
At Sovereign Hill,
Right, okay.
off to the right when you came into Sovereign Hill. The Poppet Head might have been there, I don't know, but we had to draw the slab hut, and I drew it three-dimensionally, and my teacher went, "Oh my God." And so that was sort of the beginning of me drawing. I come from a family of artists as well, like my mum and my sister Anne, who's dead, and my other sister, but she sort of stopped herself somewhere along the way. But anyway, got to draw Santa Claus on the big blackboard in Urquhart Street Primary School over lunchtime, a couple of days. That was good. But that was the start of me drawing. I suppose my sister Anne might have helped me along when I was little.
Yeah, and when you were 15, you delved into some of Anne's paints as well, didn't you? And started to explore, like putting colours on brushes and painting.
Yeah, oils. Yeah, so like I used to be into sci-fi magazine artwork back in the day as well. Anyway, yeah. So in year 11, at the beginning of year 11, I painted this other nighttime on another planet with 3 suns or moons or whatever. That was when everyone else, all the bullies at Ballarat High School realised I could do something that no one else could do, and they left me alone after that. Up until then, like every other outcast or someone that was possibly gay or whatever at school, they all just used to hassle us all the time, and we formed our own intergrade, would it be intergrade? I don't know, like multi-year group that would hang out at lunchtime and stuff like that, because we were all the outcasts from those because of that. And anyway, they left me alone after they realised I could paint, because no one else could do it like me, and that was great.
So yeah, so you kind of had suddenly had something to bring to the table, and everyone went, "Back off, leave him alone."
Yeah, don't break his hands.
Yeah, not the hands, no.
No.
You were that creative. You actually also went on to get involved in Ballarat Youth Theatre.
Yes, that was great. That was my first real... look, my father died when I was 10, and Mum had to bring me up, and she cleaned houses at the QEH and stuff like that, for the QEH. And so that was really my first social group of friends and they're all still my friends, like you.
Oh, well,
because you were part of that as well.
Oh, well, yeah, I came in a bit later though.
But that was all right. No, it didn't matter. Everyone's all the same.
Yeah.
But that was really good. It just made me. I don't know what I would be now if I hadn't got the theatrical skills and the social skills that I learnt through going to Ballarat Youth Theatre, which was run by Force Company, a theatre and education team at the time.
Yeah, because Thai teams were quite big back then, the theatre and education teams, which was kind of their bread and butter, but they also kind of had this side hustle of, let's just work with the local youth and see what could come up with there.
Yeah, because we used to do street theatre.
Look at you laughing. It's like you've had a sudden memory, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, running through Albert Street toilets dressed as Wonder Woman because we were all outside, like doing whatever, yes.
I remember, was it, we went out to Snake Valley and did Robin Hood?
Was that Snake Valley or Canadian?
Might have been Canadian.
I think it's where they've been searching for some.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I remember sitting around in the morning with tights and a pointed hat, and I think we'd all been sipping on mead the night before.
Yes, mead.
Mead?
Yes.
No.
Canadian Gully Freedom from Parents Day.
Was that what it was?
That was what we were doing. So it was like us helping the community do something with kids.
Oh, I don't remember
during
that
the
bit.
holidays.
I just remember us all sitting around the fire, drinking mead and having these, trying to stage these kind of sword fight so we could block out sword fights and have sword fights without being damaged. No.
Trying not to eat a pig's trotter in a cauldron of broth.
Yeah, and they were great years. They were. I think theatre does a lot for a person. That kind of, you know, being able to put yourself out there and everybody just kind of loves it and drinks it up, as opposed to sort of going, "Yeah, what are you doing?"
I think it gives a lot of people that would normally be insecure the tools to become confident in themselves or to take on a personality that can help them through a period of time when their normal personality might waver, but you know, you can play a role, all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
Everyone, get your children into theatre.
Over there, that one.
That one. Get your children into theatre. BCMA is a good way. There's a lot of
Is
other
that Paula
theatre companies
Hannon's
springing up
BCMA?
now.
Is that Paula Hannon's? Yeah. What's BCMA stand for? Ballarat
Community, I don't know.
Music Academy. No.
Except it's not just music. Yeah.
No. Acting, it's all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
But there's lots of theatre companies springing up now. You know, when I went to Darwin, there were 16 theatre companies in Ballarat, and when I came back, that was in '96. When I came back in 2009, there was a handful left. But now there's a bit of a renaissance happening, and new theatre companies are starting.
Yeah.
And the whole Neil Street Church and its two halls project that all the theatre groups are sort of combining to work on is a really good thing. And I really wish that had been around 20 or 30 years ago, you know?
Yeah, that is an exciting project. I tell you what else is exciting too. We're going to go for a short break and we're going to, some wonderful messages from the sponsors of us and other people. We will be back right after this. And then we're back on Facebook.
I love that cow.
Do you love the cow? It reminds me of the Goodies, except instead of a cat, it's a cow.
Yes. I think that's probably why I really like it.
That's it.
In that little...
Yeah, Sophie made those.
Good on you, Soph.
There we go. Oh, Sean McDonald's in the thread. Ask about the sparrow bull. Sparrow? Bull.
Oh, this is just my... When AI started becoming a thing, I took out a basic membership in Mid-Journey AI to see if I could get it to make things, you know, and I was trying to get it to... I was a bit out of it one night and I thought, isn't it lucky that sparrows aren't the size of bulls? So they've got a bull head and a giant sparrow body, like hopping around and sitting on gates, because like that would be disastrous, wouldn't it? Anyway, I tried to get them to make bull sparrows, and it couldn't understand. I've got some really interesting pictures that Mid-Journey.
That would be an understatement. Very interesting pictures. Did you specify what sort of bull? Did you go, I want a Jersey bull? Sparrow?
No. That was Mid-Journey at that stage.
Buffalo sparrow.
Wasn't able to comprehend that much. You know, I wanted a sparrow bull sitting on an old wooden English fence with a field behind it, with other sparrow bulls hopping around in it, with an active volcano erupting in the background, and it could never make all that happen all at once.
Have you tried since?
I've tried a few times.
But no. Dave W. Harrison. Well done, Sparkie.
Oh, good on you, Dave.
That's very nice. If anybody has any questions or any comments that they'd like to give to Sparkie or share with Sparkie, you can find us at Lance TV Ballarat on Facebook. Join the thread and we shall put that forward on your behalf for the lovely painter Sparkman. No, did you like that?
Oh, please.
We're back on Channel 31 now. Welcome back. You're watching Lance TV. I am Lance de Boyle and we're in the second part of a 3-part conversation with the lovely Peter Sparkman. So far so good, Peter?
Yay.
Or Sparkie? It's weird calling you Peter.
Oh, please call me Sparkie.
Yeah, please. Everyone does, darling. No.
It's my mother telling me off otherwise.
Oh, sure.
Oh, Peter.
Your mum, I loved your mum.
Yeah, and she had purple hair the whole time you knew her.
I know.
I've got blue hair.
Oh, look at you. There you go. It's a homage to mother.
It's really because as I was starting to just go grey, I wanted to dye my white bits blue, so I had that steel blue look of Superman and Wonder Woman in the comics.
Nice.
It doesn't really work like that in real life.
Well, maybe you just haven't found the right hairdresser yet.
Perhaps that's...
No, perhaps not. You went to university here in Ballarat, which the university has had a number of names over the years. Back then it was BCAE, Ballarat College of Adult Education.
Advanced Education.
Advanced Education.
And then it turned to University of Ballarat when I was in my 3rd year. So you could decide whether you wanted it to have BCAE or University of Ballarat on your graduation.
And you did a double major, so did you get one of each? No. I have a BCAE for that one and a...
No! No.
What compelled you to do a double major? I mean, it's difficult enough being at university doing a single major, but you've got, you did a double major, drawing and sculpture.
Yes.
So I can see how they sit together.
Yeah.
I can see how they sit together, but kind of they're really worlds apart as
They
far
are,
as...
and my elective was printmaking, so it was like 2D into 3D, and I just loved all three. I think it was ultimately a mistake for the art faculty to allow double majors in the first place, because it made it so hard for the students trying to cram in 3 years or 2 years worth of study in 2 different disciplines. And it also made all the lecturers, who were lovely people, they were all lovely people, it made them all fight with each other, because they were all fighting to get more time with a student that was half time, and that was no good in the end, unfortunately. It was a good experiment, but it didn't really work.
And how did that work out for you? Because, I mean, drawing and printmaking kind of really do go together. But then again, if you looked at making a print, you're actually making something in 3D, really.
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
It's in between.
What medium were you working in with sculpture?
Sculpture? So, you know, most of the time I think I was welding armatures, then building them up into creatures, like with plaster and chicken wire and all that sort of thing. Steve Howarth, my best friend from art school.
Who's now with Earth.
Who's with Earth, Environmentally Recycled Theatre in Sydney, who have just been doing the most amazing things for decades and everything. He and I wanted to sort of go down the same path and make prosthetics for movies and special effects and all that sort of thing. And he sort of was able to follow through with that in what he does, and I didn't do that at all.
No, but you know, that's okay. Because Stellark was out there for a little while too.
Yeah, he was the artist in residence.
The man who grew an ear on the back of a mouse's back or something.
Yeah, made a tiny little sculpture that he swallowed, and then filmed as it unfolded inside his stomach because of the gastric things. He used to hang himself on fish hooks.
Big
all over the
hooks,
place.
yeah. I made a point of meeting him once. I went to...
He's great.
All he did was laugh at me. He just laughed, and I just sort of went, I'll have what you're having. He was having the best time.
He was at the Mecca Festival out at Smilesdale.
What's the Mecca Festival?
Oh, it was a sort of... A lot of artists from Ballarat went out there. It was sort of a partially... I don't know how to describe it properly, but there was a lot of automaton sort of stuff there, that sort of thing. Anyway, that's a completely other story.
Yeah. So you got a double degree. You'd already been creating your own art beforehand. Did you find that going to art school, did that change the way that you created art?
In a way, you learn a lot about a whole heap of things, and that was really great to learn all that stuff. Learn about periods in history that you would never have known about before via Jeff Wallace. Everything, like drawing is the basis of it all, and that's why I wanted to really do drawing as half of my double major, because that's the grounding thing for everybody.
Well, it's the mark making of you know,
and the understanding
all the way back to the beginning of time for human species anyway.
Learning how to see, learning what to draw, what you see, and not what your brain knows is there, because that's where people go wrong when they're drawing faces. So, you know, you'll see someone's drawn a face, they'll draw this side fine, but then this side of their face will come around like this because their brain knows that's there, but that's not what they're seeing. You learn to draw how you're seeing. Anyway.
So kind of like you're reeling in your imagination to go, no, just draw the light and shade of what's there.
Yeah, if you want to draw realistically, you've got to draw what you see, not what you know is there. If you want to draw in a cubist fashion, you can peel someone's face off and have it there and then move everything around, if that's what you want. Oh, sorry, don't know what my mic's doing. But where were we going with that?
Oh, just talking about the education that you had at university and how that affected the way that you created art.
Oh, yeah. So ultimately, after uni, I ended up returning to what I was doing beforehand, but with a lot more knowledge and a lot more skill and a lot more understanding, and a visual vocabulary that was able to get across what I meant to the viewer, you know. So like art school is great for all that sort of thing. But like I have spoken to other people that were in my year over the course of time, and they've all gone, you know, not all of them, a lot of them have returned to what they were doing beforehand, but with just a much greater understanding, a more articulate way of doing what they were doing beforehand. So it's not like art school wasn't valuable, it's incredibly valuable. And I really hope the Arts Academy here continues to support the visual arts, because this school is one of the oldest in the entirety of Australia, and it's always produced incredible artists. Before the internet, it was separate from what was happening in Melbourne and Sydney and everything like that. And so everyone that was coming through Ballarat was developing their own incredible, articulate style or way of representing themselves. And then that's led on to like all kinds of things for people all over the world. You know, for people from here all over the world. And I don't think that this visual arts department should be deconstructed any more than it already has been. Is that all right to say that?
Yeah, it's fine. It's totally your point of view. You spoke about people getting educated through, how you do your art, returning back to what they had historically done. But you're quite different. You kind of like to take what you've learned and keep evolving your style. Do you want to talk to me about that?
Yeah, I don't have, some artists have a style that is recognisable in everything that they do, but I don't think I do. I think I have a couple of styles. One is if I'm life drawing, I can not life draw for years, and then once I have to do it again and get back into it, there's this style of line drawing that I do with life drawing that looks exactly the same as what I ended up doing in art school. We used to have to draw so many life models at art school. We had to do 200 drawings in one day once, and it was just insane. But anyway, so I've got a style when it comes to the way I draw from life, like with a model. And another style I seem to be noticing I have is when I draw on a tablet in Illustrator, there's a particular kind of way that I seem to draw. So it can be like comic book type stuff. That's what Illustrator is really good at. But I've got a style within that. Otherwise, everything sort of changes. Like with photography, it depends on what I'm taking a photo of or who I'm taking a photo of, how that's going to end up looking. Like sometimes I see in my head the way I want to take photos of people. Sometimes they don't trust me enough to just let me direct them, but I know it's going to be good. And sometimes it's okay to just let it flow freely and then take that, and then you get the essence of the person more so, especially I think sometimes if you don't know the person that well, allowing it to sort of be a free-flowing photo shoot, you're more likely to get something that's really them, I think, than trying to tell them when you don't really know them.
Amazing.
Direct them, I mean, when you don't really know them.
Time and place. Time and place, indeed. We need to go for a short break, and when we come back, we will have a further chat with Sparkie.
Yay!
See you after this.
Liftoff. We have a
So back on
liftoff.
Facebook.
Facebook.
Andrew Sutherland. Love you, Sparkie.
Oh, good on you, Andrew. I love the way he draws just in his pad, wherever he is. His drawings are amazing.
Hand-eye coordination all the way.
And he should have an exhibition.
There you go. You heard it here first. Andrew Sutherland, you should have an exhibition.
In the Art Gallery of Ballarat.
There you go. In straight in there. Straight in there.
In the Art Gallery of Ballarat, Andrew. Art space. No, backspace.
There. We want that one, Sophie. There we go. Say it again.
In the Art Gallery of Ballarat, Andrew, in backspace. Everyone will love your work.
There you go. Amazing. Claire Blake and Stella had the best laugh. It was really infectious, wasn't it?
I imagine so.
Did you not you would have seen and met Stella?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Can't remember the laugh. It was, it was just, he enjoyed every moment of life that there was in that little room he was in the A building.
Well, I suppose you'd have to really, like if you'd gone through the suffrage of hanging yourself off hooks all around the world so many times, you'd have to enjoy life, wouldn't you?
Well, you would go to another place. Like there's another place within that you'd have to go to. It's interesting. Like I guess that was kind of part of his work, that whole, what is the human body and what is it capable of, and how do we not only go inward, but how do we also move outward with kind of electronic arms feeling pulses to make the fingers move.
Yes, that's right. As you know, as well as like having to deal with the pain of what he was doing for like hours.
Yeah,
on
well, that's
end.
what I was saying. That place inside that you've got to go to. But you know, there's a lot of kink community who do a lot of that same sort of let's just hang by hooks from our shoulder blades, and there's something in it. Would you do something like that?
I have been slightly experimenting with things
Oh, we're
that
back
painful,
on channel 31.
telling the body it's
Welcome back. You're watching Let's TV. We've been having a jolly old chat in the break about the artist Stellark, but I would like to come back to you, Mr. Peter Sparkie Sparkman, and just talk to you about last year. Last year in 2023, you had your first photographic exhibition as part of the Ballarat International Photo Biennale. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so that was a black and white exhibition. It was called Humans of Ballarat Plus, which sort of meant from beyond, so that I could include humans that were either from Ballarat or not from Ballarat, but you know, had some connection with Ballarat. Sometimes it was just me, of photos I really liked of them and stuff. The main core of that exhibition was I wanted to take photos of creatives in Ballarat in their creative spaces, and I wanted to try and make more of a feature of people that don't have a big public reputation. There are so many artists in Ballarat, so many. It's insane. I don't know everybody. People think I do, but I don't. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of artists in Ballarat, and you don't even know they're there. There's international people that live here that you wouldn't even know about. But the people I know about, I wanted to try and get them, the ones that aren't always promoted by the council or by the marketing and events sort of side of things, or the ones that don't know how to promote themselves, or the ones that just don't promote themselves. Because there's so many incredibly talented people in Ballarat, and I wanted to just make everybody aware that these people were here, you know, by taking a great photo of them in their studios. So it was Ballarat, but it was also, the core of it was this. And so I did that, and I've forgotten how many. It was a slideshow. I couldn't afford to pay for printing anything out. Didn't have a space, but
Ended up at Terry's space.
Frangos's Greek restaurant in Sturt Street. Yeah, so I got a big screen TV and just played them all as a black and white slideshow on that.
Which was great because it was like being in that space with everybody kind of that we knew. It was like sitting around in a lounge room having a slide night. It was great.
Yeah. With Terry and Lee downstairs cooking burgers and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
You, more recently, you've just opened an exhibition during Chill Out at Radius Art in Hepburn Springs. That is kind of a continuation or an extension on that original body of work from the Biennale last year.
Yeah, so some of the work out at Radius Art at Hepburn was in that, but I've been taking photos like for basically 15 years of Carnival Day at Chill Out, because everyone's having fun. Everyone's doing something interesting. Like you can get great crowd shots just full of people doing stuff, or you can focus. I've got a big 600mm lens, so you can focus right in on a couple, or a single person.
Well, yeah, she showed me one photo on Carnival Day of one of the performers' nostrils. That's how magical that lens is. It's like, yep, you
Yes,
got.
it certainly is.
It does get in.
Yes, Queen Kong, straight up the nostrils. Yes, but you can get these beautiful candid moments, you know, with background out of focus, and there's a bit of bokeh, which is
We love a bit of bokeh.
Bokeh. I'd never heard the word bokeh until I did the course at the photography course at Oxygen College.
I'm all about the bokeh. All about the bokeh.
Bokeh, out of focus, balls of
Backgrounds.
light in the background for people who don't know. So it was an extension of that, and I had to.
And you presented it quite differently, like you actually printed images out this time around.
Yes. AO images, so really large ones.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Thanks to Waller and Chester, they really helped me out. The printers, they're excellent. But the large format ones mean you can really, like we were saying, you can sort of jump into them.
Yeah.
And so you really see,
It's
as
immersive.
opposed to something smaller, people can't really, you know, they go past it, they look at it and they go on. But like when they're big, you can really see what's happening and get across what you mean by picking that one and making it a large format print. And there's also a colour slideshow with 343 other colour photos that didn't make it into the black and white large format version. But it's on until the 13th of April, Thursday to Saturday, I think, is the opening hours, 10 till 4.
Yeah, well, we went in on the, I think on the Sunday, I can't remember what day, Saturday, on the Saturday, and we raced in and Radius Art were getting ready for a performance of some sort. And we were like, no, we're just here to kind of see, because you'd taken a wonderful portrait of the Lance TV family.
Yes.
And it was beautiful, and we need to buy that print. It's beautiful, huge AO black and white image of myself with the crew. It's beautiful.
It should really be a triptych because there's 3 in that, but I couldn't afford to.
Wait, you're trying to flog me 3 now? What's going on? No. Offer to buy 1 and he's trying to sell me 2 more. You know, you've got to love it. It's the Scottish background.
Oh, I was seeing Franco Cozzo's thing. I was on the train the other day. Franco Cozzo, sorry, don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's fine. We do need to go for a final break. And when we come back, if you've been waiting for Bent TV, don't wait too much longer. But we do need to go for this short break, and when we come back, we will have a bit more tete-a-tete with Sparkie towards the end. And we'll see you right after this. And if you would like to keep up to date with what's happening in Sparkie's world, you can find him on Instagram at Peter Sparkman. Very exciting days. Lance TV will be back right after this series of very important messages.
I look like I'm about to do something.
Yeah, well, you do look as though you're about to do something. What were you about to do? No. What's that? What was that Karen Black movie? Trilogy of Terror. No. The little emulant dropped off and.
That's right. That's one of Jeff Wallace's favourite movies.
Is it? I loved it. I can only ever remember 2 of the 3 stories though. There was that, and the other one where. The character lived with DIDs, like she had all these characters, all these kind of, you know, splintered personalities. But I can never remember what the 3rd story was. Because that little amulet guy, that's... Linda Franklin has posted in the thread, Stellax Laugh, and there's a YouTube link there. So if you're curious about Stellax Laugh, there you go. Linda Franklin's popped it in the thread. Liz Blizzard, talking about wonderful Ballarat artists. Fantastic, Sparkie.
She was a painting lecturer when I was at college. Buy her work, people.
Absolutely. And Ballarat, I mean, I originally come from Melbourne, but my foray into Ballarat way back then was like, this is the arts capital of the world to me. It was, everybody I met was making art or doing art or singing or writing music or poetry or painting. Like, everyone was just doing something, and it was like, wow, what a place to be, you know? I was actually quite, you know, you spoke about being involved with youth theatre, and I probably highly likely had the very same experience just by being in Ballarat as well as youth theatre.
Well, the reason we are who we are now is probably all, we're the sum of us, aren't we?
Well, we are a little bit of everyone we've ever met, and when you have kind of these intense times like, and Snake Valley, when we went out, we were playing sardines.
In the old loo, in the middle of a paddock,
yes. That you drew a cartoon of.
I did draw a cartoon.
You did draw a cartoon.
But I didn't take the photo of us all crammed into the old dunny.
Was that Matthew? There you go. Welcome back. There's not much left of the show. Did you like the way I worked that in? But what we're going to do now, we're going to quickly cut to all about the shop, and then we'll come back and have a final chat with Sparkie. It's time for All Over the Shop. What have we got this week? Let's find out. Transgender Day of Visibility is coming up. There are a number of activities happening all over the state. Check Facebook for your local Transgender Day of Visibility celebrations. Coombattook is having a tractor pull on the 30th of March at the Coombattook. I wish I could say it. Easter Parade, yes. Easter is fast coming upon us. Here's an Bendigo Easter Parade up there in Bendigo, and a dragon making workshop on the 3rd of April at TBH Studio. Ballarat Spoken Word is on. If you've got a little bit of poetry, you might want to get yourself along there for the open mic. Geelong Rainbow group is having a board and games night on the 6th of April, Saturday 6th of April down there in Geelong. Converge on Goulburn is happening at the Victoria Park Lake in Shepparton, or Greater Shepparton at the City Council there. It's come and celebrate for yourself. The Victorian ADHD conference is on this year at the Melbourne Conference and Exhibition Centre, and that's on the 20th of April. And what do we got now? On the 18th of May, the Ballarat Queer Stories Art Show is on, again, happening at TBH Studios. What a great bunch of allies they are. The Better Together Forum is on. It's the 6th annual LGBTIQA+ conference, and that's happening at the GMHBA Stadium down there in Geelong, 14th of June. Ballarat Writers Festival at the Capitol down there, or up there, across there in Bendigo on the 16th of August. That's always a great time. And for those of you who like to hold this date, February the 2nd of February, Midsummer Pride March is happening on the 2nd of February at Fitzroy Street, St Kilda. And there you go. Darling, thank you so much for being on the show. What I did neglect to do, and I'm going to do it now, is give you some gifts for being on the show. So let's start with this wonderful Tiny Pride little satchel.
Wow.
That's for you. Hooray for Tiny Pride.
Wow.
And
that's huge.
And so you've got something to put in it. You're going to get this photo of me saying, I was on Let's TV.
Well, thank you, darling. That's a lovely one, but I think I've taken better myself.
Oh, careful, Cheryl took that one.
Oh,
no.
Sorry, Cheryl.
You know, you get them in here and suddenly they're just too big for their own britches.
Oh, you're already on my wall of fame at home.
Well, there you go.
Swap it over.
Bookends.
Why not? Why not?
Oh, darling. So how have you enjoyed your time on the show?
Well, feels like I'm in your lounge room.
Oh. Oh.
With someone who's waving her arms about in my peripheral vision, but I don't mind that.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, I really appreciated you kind of sharing your things. With, just before we go, because we've got a little minute left, who is currently your biggest artistic, who's your favourite artist at the moment?
Oh, I've got to say Emily Never,
Yes!
because her work's insane. And we both really love Dürer, the 16th century. you know,
The French guy? Yeah.
if it's 16th century.
But the French guy, anyway.
I'm about to be 60. I can't be held responsible if I get my facts wrong.
Well,
But
as long as you
Emily's
remain
stuff,
continent, we'll be
yeah,
right.
if you get to see it, anybody, go and see Emily's work. Is it in the
It's in TBH on the 6th of April.
art box that used to be called Contain Art? Out
I'm
at
not
Lucas?
sure. But they did say in the pre-record that they'll be exhibiting their work at TBH on the 6th of April in the, I think it's the Change Room. It's called the Change Room.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see you down there. We will all see you again next week. Thanks for taking the time to be with us. Our thanks to the lovely Peter Sparkman with his rhino wine there. Rhino wino. We will see you next week. We will have the lovely Cheryl Gelossi telling us all about the goodness of, well, I just got a side eye from Cheryl then, telling us all about the Victorian Pride Awards. Until then, be kind.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Lance TV. We'll be back same time next week. Lance TV is made possible through funding from the Community Broadcasting Foundation. I'm voiceover guy Randall Smith. See you next time.